This class, we are talking about fraction. What is fraction? A fraction of an item or object assembles a part of that item or object. If a one object is divided into, say, Q equal parts, each of those parts is a fraction of the original item or object and can be written as 1 over Q because you divide it into the Q into the equal parts of Q. So it will be written as 1 over Q. So that is the definition of fraction. A fraction is the ability to divide an object into different parts. So let's proceed. In other words, a fraction is a number denoted by two numera. The numera above the line is called numerator, while the numera below the line is called denominator. So a whole number, this is a triangle, represents a whole of a body, which is 1. But when this body divided into 2, you see that we have different parts. Half, and half plus half will surely give us 1. So that is the meaning of fraction. That is where fractions comes up. It comes up of like dividing a part. A fraction is a part. So when you now add the two parts together, giving us 1, because the whole body has been divided into 2. So now we have some parts and some types of fractions. The first types of fraction, we call it a proper fraction. If P and Q in P divided by Q are both integers, the fraction P divided by Q is referred to as a common fraction or simple fraction. Why? Because the P is lesser than the Q. He said if P is less than Q, the fraction P divided by Q is known as a proper fraction. That's just the meaning of proper fraction. When you discover that numerator is lesser than denominator, we call it a proper fraction. So, in proceed to this, let's have an example 1. He said 3 over 4 is a proper fraction because numerator 3 is less than denominator 4. So as I've said earlier, a fraction denoted by numerator and denominator. At any point in time, you see that your numerator is lesser than denominator. It is a proper fraction. So if an exam is given to identify what the types of this fraction is, you know that when the one at the top is lesser the one at the bottom, that is denominator, it is a proper fraction. So another subtopics in fractions, it is what another type of fraction, it is what we call improper fraction. If P divided by Q, if in P divided by Q, P is greater than Q, we call the fraction PQ an improper fraction. Example 2. 3 over 2, that is 3 divided by 2, is called an improper fraction because the numerator 3 is greater than denominator 2. That is why we call it improper fraction. Let me repeat it again. If in P divided by Q, P is greater than Q, that means P is a larger number than Q. You mean that Q is a smaller number, but P is a larger number. and you now put the larger number on the top of the lower number, we call it an improper fraction. We call the fraction PQ an improper fraction, but because what they are trying to say is this, that when you are putting an heavy load in at the tops of a small load, you discover that what you are doing is an improper, because there is tendency for that small load to break. So when you are putting a larger load on the top of a bigger load, like an elderly man sitting on a chair of a baby, what you discover is that the chair might break because that sitting is an improper sitting. So the same thing applicable in mathematical form. So we call the fraction PQ an improper fraction. Example, 3/2 is called an improper fraction because the numerator 3 is greater than denominator 2. That is just the meaning of improper fraction, if you are able to hear it now. So another types of fraction is, we call it a mixed number. A mixed number, and improper fraction can be changed into a combinations of an integer and a proper fraction. That is the proper definitions of a mixed number. A mixed number is a combinations of an integer and a proper fraction. Example, 7/2, which is an improper fraction, can be changed into 3 whole number 1/2. That is 7/2 means 3.5. The 3 is an integer and 1/2 is a proper fraction, which is a combinations of an integer 3 and a proper fraction 1/2. The number obtained, 3.5, is called a mixed number. So a number which is a combination of an integer and a proper fraction is called a mixed number. That is just the meaning of. So in case you are to define, given the proper definitions of an improper fraction and a mixed number, you must be able to understand what brings them up before they can call them a mixed number, before they can call them a proper fraction, before they can call them an improper fraction. That is just about what the fraction means. So we still have to deal more about fractions and others. So we now want to explain conversions of mixed number to an improper fraction. We want to, this is when the mixed number is being converted back to improper fraction. This, it is useful when you are dealing with the additions of fractions, or finding the LCMs, of solving a problems or a question. So you must convert it first to improper fraction, so it will be easy for you to add and to use it in the process of what you need it for. A mixed number can be converted into improper fraction by multiplying the whole number, that is the integer, by the denominator in the mixed number, and then add the numerator of the fraction to the mixed number. Example 4. Convert 4 whole number 3/5 to an improper fraction. These are the steps. The first step is this: multiplying 4 by 5. How do we get 5? The 5, it is the denominator of the proper fractions inside the mixed fraction. So therefore, which is 20. Step 2. Add 3 to the result of the first step. That is 20 plus 3. And 20 plus 3 gives 23. So 5, that is, you must understand this step because you will use it to the end of the year mathematics in your life. So that is why it is not that where you must understand and have the ability to put it in your brain anytime you are facing a question relating to this. So let me repeat it again, that the first step, multiplying 4 by 5. Why does the 5 come from? The 5 comes from the denominators of the proper fraction, which is 20. The second step, add 3 to the result of the last step. So that is 20 plus 3. So you now see how it will now turn to improper. So the third step, the improper fraction is 23 over 5. That is the step we are using to convert the mixed number to improper fraction. Let's also have another example relating to this. We have example 5. Convert the mixed number 2 whole number 3 over 13 to an improper fraction. Solution. The first step, multiply 2 by 13. It gives us 26. Don't forget the step. It gives us 26. The second step, add 3 to the result, meaning that the 3 of the numerator to the result of the last step above. That is to say, 26 plus 3 is equal to 29. So the third step, the improper fraction is 29 over 3. So that is just the basic steps of the mixed, improper, and the proper fraction. So we now proceed now to classwork to test our brain, how exactly maybe we are getting what we are doing. And before the classwork, I also want to remind you, as you are watching this video and you discover that it is meaningful to you, try as much as possible to share it to your groups in WhatsApp, in Facebook, in any other area you meet up this video. Share it. Also subscribe to the channel and put on your notification on so you can also gain when I'm releasing another video. So you are going to solve this classwork. These are the works that we engage you to practice what we have been explaining since. So classwork, convert the following mixed number into improper fraction. 1, 5 whole number 3 over 4. 2, 3 whole number 4 over 9. 3, 7 whole number 8 over 9. 4, 11 whole number 3 over 5. 6 whole number 2 over 15. 8 whole number 13 over 17. Number 7, 7 whole number 3 over 8. Number 8, 4 whole number 8 over 19. 9, 15 whole number 6 over 11. 10, 12 whole number 7 over 9. Convert the following improper fraction into mixed number. Number 1, 115 divided by 3. 121 divided by 4. Number 3, 44 divided by 3. Number 4, 226 divided by 11. Number 5, 80 divided by 3. 6, 168 divided by 13. 7, 2172 divided by 11. 8, 926 divided by 9. 9, 1543 divided by 7. 246 divided by 8. The answer for this classwork, you will write it in words. If you cannot type mathematically in YouTube, when you are typing, just write it in words. Maybe you can write it in words. And also, if you can type, make sure the answer being submitted to the YouTube channel, so I will be able to access you. Maybe you get the answer or not. And also, for more to discover exactly area where you were lack. So I will know from your chart, and I will be able to see exactly what I need to do next. And this also, it is important for you to put the answer, because I will now know the next video to do so that you can gain from it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also share this video. So we have what you call equivalent fraction. Given a certain fraction, Equivalent fractions may be produced by multiplying numerator and denominator by the same number. For example, 1 over 4 can also be 2 over 8, can also be 4. This 1 over 4 can also be 1 over 4, can also be 2 over 8, can also be 4 over 16, and maybe you multiply by 3 or other. So it depends the way you multiply the same number with numerators and denominator. So that's what we call equivalent fraction. But how does it really relate with everyday's arithmetic? What do you understand by equivalent? So let's see an example. Mr. Gibson Hattie has 160 rand during Christmas celebration. We can demonstrate equivalent fraction by finding, let's assume let's say half of his stock. So remember that he has 160 rand, and what is half of his stock will be half of his stock is 80, because if Mr. Gibson have 150, so half of what he have is 80 rands. In another example, let's say we have maybe example B, we are to find 1 over 4 of his stock. 1 over 4 of his stock, which will be 1 over 4 times 160. So by the time you divide by 4, we have 40 rams. Let's have another example. So these are what we call equivalent fractions. How do we? So they say we have 2 over 4. You see what you're going to observe now. They say 2 over 4 of his stock will be 2 over 4 times 160 rams. So 2 over 4 also the same thing as 1 over 2. So it will also give you 80 rams. Let's see our first answer. He said 1 over 2 of his stock give us 80 rams. Another question says that 2 over 4 of his stock also give us 80 rams. Let's say another example, ABC, let's say D. He said 2 over 8 of his stock is, now, 2 over 8 is the same thing as 1 over 4. So therefore, and 1 over 4 give us 40 rams. So meaning that 2 over 8 also will give us 40 rams. So what I will just explain in this area is that equivalent fractions, when you say 2 over 8, it is the same thing as 1 over 4. When you say 2 over 4, it is the same thing as 1 over 2. So it depends the way you reason it out. So, and moreover, you just have to be deep about getting the values of the answer. Let's also have another meaningful example that can also give us more enlightening about the equivalent fraction. So this is another question. So if 2 over 5 is equal to A over 40, so the question says that find the value of A. Now, because of the knowledge of abilities of the equivalent of fractions, what the first thing you are going to do is that let's find a number that we are going to multiply 5 with that will give us 40. Maybe that is to say, let's say I have 40 divided by 5, it will give us 8. That means that 8 is used to multiply denominator to get 40. Let's try to demonstrate it now. We have 8 times 2 over 8 times 5. You know it will give us 16 over 40. So, meaning that here can also be what? 16 over 40. If it is 16 over 40, you can also reduce this to give, by the time you divide by 8, it will also give you 2 over 5. So, instead of writing 2 over 5 around here, let's write 16 over 40 is equal to A over 40. So therefore, if 16 over 40 is equal to A over 40, that is to say, what I'm trying to say in an essence is, since they are now equivalent, meaning that A is equal to 16. That's just the value, because we are able to change the value here to 16 over 40, and denominator are equal. Since denominator are equal, automatically, and they have an equality sign between them, so the numerator must also be equal. So let's use this opportunity to give out a class work. So these are the class works. Now complete from this class work, complete the following. 1 over 3 is equal to dash over 9, is equal to 12 over dash, is equal to 9 over dash, is equal to 16 over dash. Number 2, 2 over 3 is equal to 8 over dash, is equal to dash over 8, is equal to 14 over dash, is equal to 16 over dash. 1 over 4 is equal to 4 over dash, is equal to 7 over dash, is equal to dash over 20, is equal to dash over 32. So you are going to fill the gap, fill it and send it to me in the YouTube comment section. Number 4, 3 over 4 is equal to dash over 12, is equal to 21 over dash, is equal to 36 over dash, is equal to dash over 64. Number 5, 2 over 5 is equal to dash over 15, is equal to 10 over dash, is equal to 12 over dash, is equal to dash over 15. Number 16, 4 over 5 is equal to dash over 65, is equal to 16 over dash, is equal to dash over 75, is equal to 48 over dash. So that is all. So you do it, you fill it, and you also send it to the comment section. Don't forget again to subscribe to the channel. Just to remind you, share this video to those you believe you too they will also gain from it. Don't just watch it only, share it to those that also need it, so we can impact people free in online. So therefore, obtain equivalent fraction from the following. 3 over 8, let's see the equivalent fraction. 4 over 5, let's also see the equivalent fraction. Number 9, 2 over 5, give us the equivalent fraction. 2 over 3, which is number 10, give us the equivalent fraction. These are your classwork, which you must do. You must do so for you to know maybe you are gaining from this. If eventually it is the parent that watching this video, both of you are watching this video, both the parents and the children, tell them to do this classwork. These are the way they can have the authority in maths. Mathematics requires practice. It is not only about watching this video, it's about watching and practice. You must practice and give the answer to me in the comment section. Also, send it, share it to the people you believe they really need it. Thanks. Another subtopics in fractions is ordering of fraction. In ordering of fraction, we arrange the given fractions in ascending or descending order. This will enable us to find the greater or the least of given fraction. We must ability to know that fractions, how to arrange it in ascending or descending. Before you can arrange in ascending or descending, The first thing you must consider, you must know the one that is greater and you must know the one that is least. So there's a method to know this. Which one is greater? Which one is smaller? How do you know it? What are the strategic formula to use? That is why we are here today. So the strategic tricks to use to know what exactly to do to get exact value that is highest and the smallest is this. Let's have an example. He said, which is the smallest of the following fraction? That is the first one. Before you can give another, let's give an examples of the one that is smallest. We are now rearranging it as how big they are or in any form. So therefore, let's see this. In solving this, you're able to see that you firstly consider the denominator 6, 3, 12. You find the lowest common multiple, and the lowest common multiple around there, you are not adding, is 12. 6 divided by 12, we have 2. The 2 will multiply 5. It will give us 10, comma. 3 divided by 12 will give us 4. The 4 will multiply 2. It will give us 8, comma. 12 divided by 12 will give us 1. 1 times 7, it will be 7. 4 divided by 12 will give us 3. 3 times 9. 3 times 3 will give us 9. This is now how you now rearrange it to have, that is, you can able to see you have 10 over 12, comma, 8 over 12, 7 over 12, and 9 over 12. So to now get the smallest of the fraction, we don't need to go further. You know that the least numerator is 7. Therefore, the smallest fraction, is 7 over 12. So we don't need to waste much of our time here, because we have already gotten the logic that since we are able to see that we have 10, 8, 7, 9, it is very easy for you to get the smallest value. And you can also rearrange it if it reaches the arrangement time. We are going to solve another example, maybe to arrange it in ascending or descending order. But we like to have an example. So let's try to arrange this in ascending order. So let's see, maybe we can, in ascending order, it means that start from 7, 9, 8, 10. So that is all we have. In ascending order, we have 7 over 12, 8 over 12, 9 over 12, and 10 over 12. According to what has been written here, you have 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is very easy for me to rearrange it just because I'm able to know the smallest and the highest. So from the smallest and the highest, give me an authority. That is why you must understand the basic knowledge of maths. The basic knowledge of maths will give you an authority in solving any question so far, and to make it a confidence to know that your answer is correct. So for me to know, to tell you that the answer is correct, because we are able to arrange it in ascending order, doing to what you have done early. So let's also have another example. So let's have this example. Arrange the following fraction in descending order. Descending orders means that you arrange it from the biggest to the lowest. Descending, to be coming down low. So, but the first thing that common that you must know here is this. Is that we have to consider that the common denominator is 60. So how? Because when you see 10 can go in 60, 15 can go in 60, and 30 can go in 60. So now when you put 60 like this, I want to put a common. Let's have 60. So 10 divided by 60, it is 6. So 6 times 3, we have 18. That is the first one. 15 divided by 60 is 4. So 4 times 7, we have 28. 30 divided by 60 is 2. 2 times 11, we have 22. So 12 divided by 60, we have 5. So 5 times 5, we have 25. So you now rearrange it like you said: 18 over 60, 28 over 60, 22 over 60, 25 over 60. Now, we now want to rearrange it in descending order. So, you know that in descending order, the highest is 28. From 28, we have 25. From 25, 22. So, I firstly arrange it in equivalent form before we now bringing it out to make it easy. So, we have 28 over 60. Now, therefore, descending order from largest to smallest. Before you write your own answer in largest, let's first write it at 28 over 60. 28 over 60, comma. That is 25 over 60. (22 over 16). And the last one is 18 over 60. Now, something form 28 over 60. What does number form 28 over 60? When you see it, it is 7 over 15 that form 28 over 60. It means 7 over 15 is the highest, followed by the one that form 25 is 5 over 12. So the one that form 22, it is 11 over 30. And the least one, which is the final, it is 3 over 10. So this is the highest, this is the lowest. So these are just the logic to get the ascending or descending ordering of a fraction. It's just a very simple logic. And when you're able to get this logic, it is so good. So let's see the question. You see now, 3 over 10, 7. So it is this our method, the common denominator method, make us to know and to get the exact way of writing it out, which is therefore descending order, that is to say from largest to the smallest. You firstly write it out like this before you now write the exact value. So that is how you get the correct answer. In case you want to solve the class work for me, so let me write the class work. So you firstly write it for me like this before you write your final answer. It will make me to know that truly you work the answer. So these are the class work. Arrange this fraction in orders of their descending. That means write in descending order. So number 1, 3 over 22, 4 over 37, and 7 over 35. So arrange it in descending order. 7 over 30, 17 over 72, 13 over 60. So you arrange them. Number 3, 2 over 3, 15 over 6, 7 over 9. You arrange them in descending order. Number 4, 2 over 3, 1 over 2, 3 over 5. Number 5, 3 over 4, 3 over 8, 2 over 3. Don't forget again to subscribe to this channel and share this video to a proper place where they can also gain. Don't gain this video alone. Let's try to impact our people.